What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of 10K on the Bay, my journey to 10,000 live listings. Let me just turn on my microphone. Sorry about that. Welcome to another episode of 10K on the Bay, my journey to 10,000 listings. Today, I want to talk about why following your passion may actually prevent you from being successful as a reseller. I think this is super important. I just want to talk about this because I think it's something that should help you. So, my entire life, people have been telling me you can do whatever you want to do, just follow your heart, all this kind of advice. And I actually disagree with it because it kind of confused me. It made me think that you can do everything in life. And I don't agree with that. I think you can only do a few things in life. You have time to do a few things. You don't have time to do everything. You have time just to pick a few simple things to do well. And I think you don't have to do them simultaneously. You can just do them one at a time and get it all done. But I want to go over 5 things I think will help you instead of following your passion. So the first thing is I think you guys should create value and money will come. I don't think it has anything to do with happiness or passion. I think if you just focus on creating value, money will come. So the second thing is that we are physical products companies. Everyone that is a reseller, you're a physical products company, and the last time I checked, we're selling physical products for other people, not ourselves. And people get a lot more value from serving other people. You can tell because you get a huge hit of dopamine and adrenaline when somebody says, "Thank you so much for this item. It was super awesome. Thank you for finding it. Where did you find this polar bear cookie jar?" And you're like, "Oh, I found it at a thrift store. It was about to be thrown away, and I saved it from the landfill, and now it's in your kitchen." That's cool, right? You're serving other people. So I think that a lot of the passion that comes out of life comes from serving other people. So if you're a really good reseller, generally you're really good at customer service, in my opinion. That's why I think that all women should date salespeople and customer service guys, because they're programmed to problem solve and find a solution that works for you. I mean, that's a good person to date. You don't want to date somebody who doesn't know how to investigate and look for your needs and look for your development. And those are often the most happy people. Like, one of the things that made me the most happy this year, beyond like quadrupling my income, was like serving. I went to a gospel church and served people on Thanksgiving Day. That was cool. Like, I went there. I couldn't believe how many people don't even have a warm meal to eat, right? That was cool. That was a really fun thing that I did this year, that literally I was taking time out of my day that I could be making money and just contributing to other people. That was more passion that was related. And I don't think that you should mix passion and business. I think it's different. Like, if you passionately package something for somebody, it doesn't really matter. Like, if it's the item that they want, it doesn't need pink ribbon on it. It doesn't need any of that. You're just delivering exactly what they want. So I think success without contribution is nothing. So if you make it, let's say you become super wealthy and you don't give anything back, that's not happiness either. That's a bad thing to be passionate about, in my opinion. So if you're creating value for others, you're going to be more happy and more passionate. And I can see working on a passion. Like, let's say you love dancing and you get really, really, really good at dancing, right? That's going to, provide some value to some people. But the people who make dancing that other people like generally have more commercial value. And if you get a lot of at least 80 grand of income from your passion, then you're good. I think you could maybe do both if you make at least 80 grand, but usually you don't make 80 grand doing your passion, right? You can, it's just less likely. How many people want to be a professional athlete and how many people actually are a professional athlete? It's like I think it's 10,000 to 1. If you're an exceptional athlete, you still have a 10,000 to 1 chance to making a living being a professional athlete or being a professional singer. That's how difficult it is. But if you wanted to sing for fun, right, and you do it passionately over the course of 10 years and you get phenomenally good at it, and then you become successful, but in the meantime you have an eBay store that does 6 figures and you comfortably feed your family and you can do whatever you want, like afford vocal lessons and traveling to visit concerts or whatever. I think that's an easier route to getting there, because a lot of passions don't pay any money. That's sort of the reality of passions that I have seen. So the next one is, instead of looking for something that you're passionate about, I think you should put passion into everything you do. So instead of looking for being passionate about tennis or something like that. What if you change the way that you look at it and you just do things with excellence? Like, I like the saying, how you do anything is how you do everything. So like, if you are going to do something really well and you take pride in your pictures, and you take pride in the items that you pick, and every single item you get is a hell yeah, and not just like a, as long as it's profitable, I'll pick it up. I'll sell anything. I'll sell a lawnmower. I'll sell a weed whacker. I'll sell a treadmill. I'll sell anything because I'm just about the buck. All I care about is the buck. That's a little different than like, you're putting passion into it, thinking about like, okay, this treadmill, how can I find the right buyer for this or this wheelchair? I think that mentality is better than just looking for the buck because it has a longer life. If you're truly in it for looking for recycling treasures for people, I think you're going to have more longevity. If you put passion into helping your potential customer out there in the universe versus just yourself. Okay, let's see. The last one is, I think that your passion may not be your greatest skill, right? So I think my greatest skill is networking, right? I can talk to somebody and then we can collaborate and do something. I believe that's my superpower, right? I can talk to somebody I've never talked to and then we can be making some pottery together 10 minutes later, right? Because I like to do the collaboration thing. However, that's not the thing I'm necessarily the most passionate about, right? I actually do love sales. If I was not reselling on eBay, I'd be reselling on a different platform, be reselling in person. I like selling things. I think selling is the transfer of energy from one person to another, right? That's all it is. You get excited about something, they get excited about something, they exchange, they give you money, you give them the item. That's what sales is. I love it. I actually am passionate about that. And e-commerce is cool because I don't even have to leave my house to do it. I could be in my pajamas, and I could just transfer the information transfer the energy from one person to another. That's what I like the most, right? But again, my greatest skill is networking. So, I think I should do both. I want to connect people. I want to, do different projects with people, collaborate. I want to host masterminds. I want to do YouTube interviews. I want to do all kinds of stuff like that. But of course, that's not my greatest skill. I mean, that is my greatest skill, but what I'm passionate about is resale. So it's kind of like a toss up. I think you should do both. Don't just do what you're passionate about. Do something that creates value. Um, and I think that the amount of money that you make is directly related to how much value you bring to the world. So like, if what you do that's passionate brings a huge amount of joy to the world, then okay. I think it's Maurice Green. Is that the guy's name that was the Olympic runner? Um, he had won a gold medal, and the lady had asked him, so you've made it. You now are now the gold medalist. What are you going to do now to contribute to society? And he said, I already contributed to society by being the fastest person on earth. That should be insanely inspirational, right? What do I have to? I already spent my entire life training for this moment. Like, I don't have to do anything else. I'm good. Like, that was my contribution already, right? And that, of course, awarded him millions and millions of dollars in endorsements and whatever. And it's true. Like, if what you do is at a global level and you're blowing people's minds, but then that being said, the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth place runners, we're never going to hear of them. You have to look it up to see who they are. They didn't get any endorsements. It's not like the difference between being a successful passion person and like second place is 100x sometimes the earnings. Right? If you look at how the prize pools work and things that people are passionate about, it's insane. Like, pretty much the people who win take 90% of the money. So it's tough. It's a tough world out there. I just think you should balance being passionate about something with what's valuable. Another example is, if you're passionate about selling clothes, right? Like I am, I love selling clothes, right? Clothing is going to be the majority of my thing. However, it's not the fastest way to make money. If people have asked me, what are the categories that would make me the most money, the fastest? This is what I think. And I don't really dabble in any of these categories. The first one is popular cell phones. I preach that you guys should make $100 in 3 different categories to make 6 figures. Okay. 3 categories. First category should be cell phones. Almost anyone in every city can get 1 cell phone a day. If you had the right systems, you knew what you were doing, you knew the SIM cards, you knew what to look for stolen phones, right? Then you can make $100 a day just selling one category and often one item, right? If you sold 3 iPhones a day that were popular, that you purchased, that were broken and fixed them, or people just wanted to upgrade, you could make $300 selling 3 items. You'd have 0 death pile. You wouldn't need an inventory system. You could carry your inventory with you and travel on the road and be a roadie and live out of your Prius if you wanted to, right? You don't need any kind of special equipment or anything. You could just sell 3 cell phones. But a lot of people are not passionate about putting up a Craigslist ad saying, hey, if you're trading in your cell phone today, do you want to give me a buzz? I'll give you more money than the trade-in kiosk will, and I'll meet you at the mall and make sure that it's not stolen. That doesn't sound like a fun afternoon necessarily, right? I don't think there's many people who are passionate about that, but that's extremely valuable because somebody wants to upgrade their phone. They want to get rid of it. They're going to get ripped off if they trade it in, right? They don't want to sell it on their own. People donate their old phones, right? It wouldn't be uncommon. There's somebody on Instagram right now, they got an iPhone 8 that was donated because somebody wanted the 10 and they didn't want to deal with selling it, so they just donated it. So that's one category. The second category would be handbags. Handbags is insane, right? If you wanted to sell pre-owned or brand new handbags that are popular, or on the same token, you wanted to sell really hype beast items that are extremely popular in the clothing world, you're not going to have any issues selling them. If you want to sell retro Jordans that just came out, you're not going to have any death pile. You're not going to have a listing problem. You're not going to spend $200 on a pair of shoes and then forget to list it. You're going to go home and list it as soon as you have it, because it's going to sell immediately for basically full market value. That's not something people want to get into either. They don't want to make a calendar of all the new Jordan releases. They don't want to camp overnight at Supreme and wait for a certain release. They don't want to research which product to get. They don't want to do any of that. They just want to sell what's convenient and what's easy. And I don't even think that that's what you're passionate about. I just think that that's easier. You're just picking something that's easier, not necessarily, that you're really into. Because when I look at a lot of people's stores, I don't feel the passion. I don't feel people have passion in their stores. They're just selling it because it's convenient. So put a little passion into what you sell. And in the final category that I would sell in, let me see here. Popular electronics. Oh, the other category that I would sell in that would make you guys a ton of money is consignment, right? And nobody wants to do consignment because consignment is a pain in the butt. You've got to, put out an ad and say, hey, I'll sell your things. People are going to drop off stuff at your house. You're going to have to list it. You're going to have to pay them separately. You're going to have to keep track of it. You're going to have to deal with the people if it doesn't sell every single month, right? It's going to be a pain. No one wants to deal with consignment, but guess what? It's extremely profitable and it's a replicatable model that so many people do. So like consignment is massive. People donate items that are $30 and under. They keep items that are over $30 and they try to sell it themselves. But most likely they don't try to sell it themselves. It just sits in their closet. So if you really want to set up a consignment business, that's another way that's not passionate, right? No, very few people are like, I just want to sell other people's items and split the profit with them, right? That's not something people are naturally passionate about, in my opinion. But you may be passionate about money. And if you have a couple thousand item store of somebody else's stuff and you do have a fair split, it's very likely you're going to have a very, very high ASP. You can say, I'm only selling things that are $200 and over, and I'm taking a 40% commission. You get 60% after fees, or maybe off the top, however you want to organize it so that it makes sense for the other person. Imagine if you don't have any money, all you are doing is investing your time and sweat equity into the product to get it online, and then you're splitting the difference with somebody. That's a virtually infinite return except for your time, right? So if you're in a position where you have less capital than you do time, I actually recommend consignment as literally the highest category that you can make the profit on, because you're just getting stuff from people that they would not normally donate, right? Everyone has something expensive that they don't use. So that's something that you could capitalize on, but you're going to have to be disciplined, be organized, get an accounting system, know what you're doing. You're also going to have a store that people want to consign items in. Like a lot of the stores that I look at when I'm reviewing, I would not put my item in your store unless I wanted a really low value for it. Because your store's presentation is so low that you would bring my quality Bose stereo system from a $200 market value to a $150 value because your photos are dark. your descriptions are incomplete, your title's not accurate, you didn't take the time to describe the condition properly, you just put C photos for condition, and you didn't take any measurements, you didn't tell me what pieces are included with it, so you just devalued my really expensive item. But if your store was amazing, photos are really crispy and clean, you took them all on a flat table, there was nothing distracting, everything I look in your sold is selling for top dollar, right? You have a lot of great items in your store. Of course, I'm going to let you consign my Bose system because you're going to get a lot more money for it than I would on my own. That's a win-win. What's a good ratio for consignment? I think a classic ratio is 60-40. I like to do 50-50 if somebody really wants to do it. And I think it's something that I think is fair on medium expensive items, like items under $250. I think people will be happy with splitting it with you. Over 250, you should be giving the person a much larger percentage, maybe even 80-20. If you sell something for $1,000, let's say you sell for 1,200, after fees it's 1,000, you should give them like 800 in my opinion, and just take 200 for the trouble. It just depends on what your relationship is like with the person. Also, it gets a little bit fuzzy because you have to deal with returns and issues like that. So make sure if you're going to do consignment, you may want to have a no returns policy, which is tough on eBay because they can return it if they want to, but just do the best you can to represent yourself properly. But again, this is something that you can do right now, make a huge amount of money on eBay that you're not passionate about. I highly doubt, I haven't met one person on eBay so far that's like, I am so passionate about consignment. I wish that I could sell stuff for people and split the profit with them. Like, I've never heard that. All I hear is, I wish I could just sell the stuff that's conveniently around me and make a fortune. But that doesn't really make sense because the stuff that's easily around you is easily around everyone. So like, it doesn't make sense. So I just don't hear that. I hear that. I do hear, why can't I just make what I have make me rich? I don't even know how to respond to that. So just try to put a little more effort into it. And I feel like if you put some passion into your work, like right now, I'm really, really enjoying the people that I'm working with. There's a saying that you do things you want to do when you want to do them with people that you want to do it, and write it off. That sounds like a brilliant life right there. I love contributing to others. I find huge value when I get emails saying, hey, I didn't have any money and I sold all this stuff in my house, made my, got $1,000 capital. I did what you said. I sold everything that I own and I started getting some momentum. I left the money in it because I got a regular job, which I don't like, but that's okay. I'm working full-time for my living, and I'm working part-time on my fortune. And I'm getting that money. That's a Jim Rohn quote, I think. And I turned that $1,000 that I wasn't using of junk in my house into a nice little side business. That is insane. Can you imagine that? Somebody who's struggling out there turns their junk that they're not using into a healthy side hustle. That's fantastic. So I really do like that concept. I think everyone should do a little bit of consignment, just because it makes you a little bit more focused on your numbers. Like, is it going to make sense? You're going to think about it when it's somebody else's item, right? You're not going to go through all the hassle unless it's really worth it. And I've helped people sell Rolexes. The two highest items I sold on eBay was an H1 Hummer for like $58,000, and I also sold a Toyota MR2, a 1991 Toyota MR2 with 200 miles on it. That was a sick car. And again, I might sell some more cars on eBay because it's really fun, but they have to be rare and unusual and interesting. You wouldn't sell like a Toyota Camry on eBay because no one cares. And that doesn't work. You want to sell unique, rare items. I think it goes the same. Like if you were selling only Mont Blanc pens and treasures from around the world, you could be so passionate about it, but you better have a lot of capital because a lot of stuff like that takes a little bit longer to sell. Let's see here. I'll answer a couple more questions, then I have to run to the post office before some calls tonight. Let's see. Why did I cut the wires from my earpods? These are wireless AirPods, bro. I am going to move into a warehouse shortly, probably Q1. So I'm working on this standing desk right now, which is really fun. But I definitely want to build a 1,000 square foot warehouse for you guys to see what it looks like to run a 7-figure eBay business. So If you guys are interested, you can join my Patreon. It's patreon.com/10K on the Bay. You can help me make 5 videos per week. This upcoming year is going to get really good. I have a course coming out for you guys, and it will be available for free if you want to just watch it in in January. So it's going to be 30 days to a better eBay store. And I want to do it day by day by day. Introduce something interesting, have a discussion. So lesson, discussion, and then task, right? So 30 of those in January. You can either buy the book from me or you can just do it for free every day if you want to join me. But the idea is break down your business into daily chunks. Do one thing every day instead of putting some arbitrary goal somewhere way out in the future that it's hard to get there. How do I transport stuff to the post office? Usually I have a pickup that comes, but I always miss it because I'm late. Today I was building shelves, so I didn't do shipping until 3 o'clock. So just barely finished that up. I got to leave in 2 minutes so I can go do it. What percentage of my sales do I put back into my inventory? That's a good question. So 30% goes into a tax account, 20% goes into savings, and 50% goes right back into inventory. So I do not touch my eBay inventory. I'm hoping I never have to. I want to have $600,000 worth of stuff listed, and I want to flip that 3 times a year for 1.8 million in sales. Because that will make me a titanium power seller, and I will be able to. I'm gonna really be happy when I hit that number. So I'm in a lucky position where I don't have to take any money out of eBay. So 30% for taxes, 20% for 20% for savings, and then the rest of it back into it. And I do have a separate PayPal account now just for expenses. So I think that's going to make it really easy for me. So when the money comes in, I'm going to move the money into the expense account so that I can just leave the profit in there so I can get an idea of what I'm actually profiting and then use that account to buy more stuff. So I'm really going to be disciplined about using different accounts this year, working on different things. There's a book called Profit First by, I think, Mike Malkowitz, something like that. Cool book. It has a piggy bank on the front of it if you guys want to check it out. Can I recommend buying a thermal printer if you only sell 2 to 4 items a day? No, I would recommend not buying a thermal printer if you only sell 2 to 6 items a day. I would spend that money on more inventory, but if you want to be badass, then you can go ahead and do that. 30% of my profit. That's more specific, Ed. So yeah, after 20% though is off the top, is going into my savings account. So I'm working on that habit being the same for the rest of my life. I'd like to just routinely trim 20% off into a savings account forever. I hire people only that have past experience as a VA. That's a good question. I'm going to do a bunch of videos on how to hire a VA, but now I have to run to the post office. So you guys have a great day. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I'm going to be doing daily videos today on different topics. So email me at 10konthebay@gmail.com if you have any questions specifically. I have about 5 more spots left for my mastermind group out of 100. If you guys want to join, email me at 10konthebay@gmail.com. You can try one tomorrow or Friday for free. They're at 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. And if you miss those, then I'll do another run again next year. But for the most part, they are full. So everyone have a great day. Talk to you soon. Peace.